Well, I actually thought that the Dahlia thing was the end of the case, but it turns out there's a part 3. Did you think that the Dahlia thing was the last part of the case, or were you expecting there to be a final thing?
I think that I kind of expected final thing once the whole stabbing thing got brought up and they didn't get to the end of it.
Yeah, interesting. Alright. This is it. The final court case. Oh, just one-on-one, baby. Now then, before we proceed any further, I'm going to announce the results of the test we had performed earlier. Test? Yes, test on the bloody dagger that was found stuck in the pine tree. Oh yeah, that. I totally forgot about it. That's the weapon that Malfay used when she fought with the victim. So what are the results? Was it the victim's blood or... Due to time constraints, a full test wasn't possible. However, there's one thing we can say with certainty. The blood that was on this dagger was not the victim's blood. That is all. Now then, let's restart this trial. So it wasn't Misty's blood on the dagger. Then whose was it? So someone else got stabbed. Okay. I'm sure both the defense and the prosecution knows this, but this trial is rapidly coming to a close. Both sides will need to show some firm evidence with their claims. I understand, Your Honor. From what I heard, the witness is dangerously weak, physically speaking. So let's finish this quickly. Agreed. Very well. Please bring the last witness. Witness, please tell us your name and profession. My profession is, I'm the assistant manager at Wright and Co. Law Offices. Assistant manager? Damn, that's a high position. Maya. According to the magazine I have here, you're a spirit medium of the crane channeling technique.
I want to forget about that part of my life.
Alright, I'm frightened. The Fae Clan. I don't want any more to do with it. Oh, damn, Shane. Yeah.
Yep.
Damn, you were right. Oh, Maya. The pain the Fae bloodline caused must be unbearable. Very well. Now then, Miss Fae. When the event occurred, you were in the guardian of the Inner Temple. And you witnessed the moment of Miss Lee Stusenum's murder. Is this correct? I didn't see... Straighten up this instant, young lady. Huh? Pick your head up and speak clearly. There's always time for crying later. But I... Your mother was killed right in front of your eyes. There's nothing you can do to change that fact. But there's something you can do. You can finish this. You've been watching the whole thing, right? You've seen the witnesses come out, and you've seen us squeeze the truth out of them. Now it's your turn. Let's hear your testimony. On the night of the crime, what exactly did you see happen? Witness, if you please. Yes, Your Honor. I was passing through the garden on the way to a spare prep room when it happened. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head. I stumbled and ended up against a stone lantern. I think I screamed, "Help me!" Then something warm splashed over me. That's when I lost consciousness. So you were struck on the head? I suppose it must have been the staff. Maya, the person who hit you. It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it? I'm sorry, Nick. I couldn't see. I don't know who it was. Maya, think hard. I'm sorry, Nick, but I really couldn't. Huh.
The lamps were on, though.
Can't say it was an especially good night for young ladies to be walking around alone.
In the mountain?
It seems that would be hard to determine the criminal through testimony alone. But you do make a point about the lamps, Shane. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Please begin your cross-examination. Maya, hang in there. She doesn't look well at all.
That just means press everything and say hold it.
Pass through guard when it happened. Let's see if this actually tires her out. Who else was on the inner temple side that night? Well, Sister Bikini, of course. But I remember her saying that Iris will be coming later as well. On the day after the incident, Edgeworth met Bikini at Hazakura Temple. That means she couldn't be the criminal. So then, did Iris actually come later, like she said? Well, let me think. She seems confused. It's probably because she's so tired. No, I'm sure I didn't see her. She must have come when I was preparing for the training. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head. Who did it? Who hit you? Well, I didn't see who it was. It was hit from behind. You didn't see the person? But after that, your attacker was in front of you. How could you not see who it was? Oh, let me think for a sec. I'm sorry, I just can't remember.
She thought for a literal sec.
Mine's really hard time. What should I do? We need to know the answer. We need to know the answer, Maya. Come on, Maya. This isn't making sense. Why didn't you see this person? Well, let me think. It was, Oh, yeah, that's right. It was dark. That's it. It was dark? It's not good to have too much light around when someone is undergoing spiritual training. Come to think of it, there was an earlier testimony to that effect as well. So it was dark in the garden that night, the night of crime, huh? Which is why she didn't see her attacker. I thought maybe she was trying to hide something, but I guess not. Judging by the testimony so far, the identity of the attacker was most likely the spirit that was channeled by Elise Duke's nymph, Dahlia Hawthorne. Very well, please continue with testimony. What happened after you struck on the head? When are we going to bring up the fact that the torches were lit? I stumbled and ended up against a stone lantern. What happened afterwards? My attacker was in front of me, blocking up my escape, I think. You think? After getting hit like that, I was in a state of panic. There were only two things rolling around my mind at the time. Well now, this is beginning to get interesting. So what were the two things rolling around your mind?
Ow.
My name is Maya Fey. 1 + 1 = 2. That's it.
That's useful in case you get a really bad concussion.
Yeah. You see, for some crazy reason, I was afraid I was going to lose my memory. I know it's odd considering my life that was in danger, but that's just how it was. That's not odd at all. Your actions are understandable given the circumstances. So, what did you do then? I think I screamed. Okay. You think you screamed? But you're not sure? Listen, that was a complete wreck. It was dark and I couldn't see my attacker. Was it a man, a woman, an adult, a child? I had no idea. I was scared out of my wits. Believe me, my dear, I'm certain I would have soiled my robes. I thought this person might attack me, so I... Anyways, I'm pretty sure I screamed. I thought that it was my last hope. Wow, sounds like poor little Ma really was out of her mind. But I wonder what she meant by last hope. What do? Do I press her and traumatize her more?
My last hope.
My last hope. Wait a minute, Maya. What's this my last hope stuff? What? Well, what do you mean by your last hope? No. That's what you said. You said my last hope. Huh? What? I said what? Look, you were facing an attacker that you couldn't see and you screamed, right? You screamed, help me. Yeah. But you testified that you screamed that because you thought it was your last hope. Oh, well, you know, that's like, what do you call it when that happens? Mine's not doing so well up there. Oh, yeah, oh, that's right. I remember now. I was facing my attacker, but that's not who I was screaming at. What?
Someone behind the attacker.
What? What did you say? Yeah, that's right. It was the person behind my attacker that I was really yelling at. Isn't that crazy, guys? There was a third person on the scene? Crazy. That's who I was screaming for help. Ah! There was a third person!
Oh yeah?
What is it now? I messed up. I didn't mean to let that slip out. Ooh, what did you mean by that, huh? Huh? Well, witness, are you absolutely sure of what you're saying? Behind the attacker, there was another person? I meant to keep that part a secret. So please scratch it off the court records.
The record, teehee.
What have I done? It takes a ton of pressure to make a diamond. That's what I've always say. Ton of pressure? You're in a court of law here. You can't make things up or try to hide things in this chamber. Witness, the information you just presented is vital to this case. I want you to add it to your testimony. You can see a man behind the attacker by the light.
A man?
Oh, the stone lantern. There's a man now? A man? Who is this man? Well, you see... I couldn't see. You couldn't see. She used this excuse twice now.
It was Gumshoe.
Well, you know, lantern light isn't very bright. Lantern light, did you say?
Oh, present the lantern.
There's a great big stone lantern in the garden. They always light it when an acolyte is there for training. Hey, you know what they say. Under the lantern, darkness reigns. So I could see the person that was further away, but not my attacker, who was closer. Does that logic make sense?
Kinda.
I get what you're trying to say.
No, it makes some sense for that lamp since it only goes out further rather than close to it. So people can see that the training.
So I guess the question should be, then who's the man that you saw, right?
Yeah. But I think you gotta present the stone to this.
Plus, there weren't any other light sources in the garden at the time.
You idiot. There's plenty of other land.
And something warm splashed over me. I know, but we
gotta go back to the man thing.
See a man behind an attacker by the light of the stone lantern.
You mean the light of every lantern?
Do we have evidence of the lanterns?
I think so. Or is it just a lantern? Was not lit.
Oh, it was not. Is that it? We do it? Oh, yeah. So, there was a man standing behind your attacker. Yeah. That man, he's the killer. He stabbed her from behind. He's the one who killed Lee Dukes Nim, otherwise known as Misty Faye, your mama.
What?
The killer? Maya, you know who killed your mother, don't you? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? To be frank, Your Honor, I think she's in shock and quite confused. That's why she hadn't noticed the huge problem with her testimony. Huh? What do you mean? What problem? Maya, on the night of the crime, the stone lantern was out of commission. Huh? What?
Revelation. There is a man that can see in the dark, but can't see red.
Yeah, I get it. I understand.
It's Kevin.
You're right. I didn't expect that. It's true. It was Kevin. There was no light anywhere in the garden that night. No. Order in the court. Mr. Godot, explain this. Add the pureness of milk to the perfect clear darkness of coffee. Stir. That's the state of the witness's mind right now. A cup of cafe au lait. Cafe au lait? Is that even legal? Mr. Tride's words are the milk, and you are the spoon, Your Honor. I'm a spoon? I'm no spoony bard, I'll have you know. You must have noticed it too, Trite. This witness's mental state is highly unstable right now. It's not hard to understand why she would make a little mistake like that. Sorry, but that's not gonna cut it. What did you say? If there truly was no light in the garden, then there's a fatal contradiction in the witness's last bit of testimony. Nick, may I? Recall the witness's statement about her attacker. She said that she didn't know if it was a man or woman, an adult or a child. And yet, the witness could describe a person that was standing behind her attacker. And she quite clearly described him as a man. In other words, that would have to mean that Maya actually saw our mystery person, despite being so dark that she couldn't see the face of her own attacker. No!
The light from his visor.
The light from his visor. It really is. Order. What does this world does all mean, Mr. Wright? Are you saying Miss Faye saw the real killer under pitch black conditions? Trite, do you have any idea what you're proposing? How could she have seen in the dark? There was no other light source at the scene. There are some things that you can only see in the dark, Mr. Godot. Maya, you did see who the killer was in the dark. And now, you're trying to cover for him. Cover? For the man that killed her mother? There's only one conclusion I can draw from this. You know who this man is! Please, Nick. I don't know anything. Please, I'm begging you. Talk a good game, Trite, but let's see if you can walk the walk. It was pitch black, so what could the witness see? I'm calling your bluff. No, Nick, don't. Please, stop. Maya's dead set on protecting this guy. The man who murdered Maya's long-lost mother. But I can't let him get away with it. I'm a lawyer, an officer of the court. I'm here to find the truth. Alright, Mr. Wright, time to show us what you got. Who was this person that you say Miss Faye saw in the darkness? Wabam, Ray comes back.
Wrong. Neng, it was Edgeworth, you fool.
Ooh. Because it was pitch black, Miss Faye was able to recognize the killer easily. I'm sure the court would like to see for yourself how it is possible, yes?
Turn the lights off.
What? But how do you propose to show something like that? It's easy. We just need to recreate the conditions of that night. Conditions? Your Honor, the defense officially requests that all the lights in this courtroom be turned off. You hear Miles running away. He's getting away. What? This is, but it can't be. Huh. That was a nice bit of deduction. Try. Well, everyone. This is the man Maya saw the night of the murder.
That'd be horrifying to see in any circumstance.
Yes. I was actually thinking like that. That'd be kind of scary to just see walking around me in the night. Order. Prosecutor Cadell, what is the meaning of this? Surely you must be shocked to hear yourself accused of such a thing. Why aren't you denying it? Your Honor, you're asking the wrong person. What do you mean by that? If you got a question, ask the witness. That's one of my rules. Well, Ma, how about it? What you saw that night? Was it 3 glowing red lights? Well, witness, answer the question. You're wrong. I never saw that. But Maya? I thought the person that stabbed my mother was a man. For a totally different reason. What? What, witness? Mr. Wright, what the? Stop your chattering, Your Honor. Chattering? If it's worth asking, ask the witness. That's one of my rules. Alright. Well then, let's continue with the testimony. Please tell us how you knew the killer was a man. No, yes, Your Honor. I didn't realize it until after I woke up, but... When I came to, I was just lying there on the training hall floor. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. The torches were lit, and the body was gone. And all the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up, too. Since the person who did all that works alone, I just assumed it was a man. Well, that's a statement. They cleaned it up by themselves. It was clearly a guy. So it was after the crime took place that the witness came to think the killer was a man. Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, Your Honor. No need to apologize. It's as Mr. Godot say, you're utterly exhausted. It's only natural that you would be a little confused. Also, if you consider the situation you described, it doesn't seem too much of a stretch to assume the culprit was a man. Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination.
Press it all.
Lying in the training hall floor. So you lost consciousness when you were in the garden, is that right? Yes, I think. I think happened when the victim was stabbed. So then the person that carried you into the inner temple can only have been the killer. That's what I think too. So the killer carried Maya into the inner temple? By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. How? Naturally, the killer must have done it, right? Yes, I think so. But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? There must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide. I don't know. Looks like she doesn't have enough confidence. I think I need to gather some more information before I ask her again. Oh, okay, we gotta come back to that statement. Torches were lit and the body was gone. The torches were lit? Yes, that's how I noticed that the whole scene had changed. I'm gonna say it was the killer who lit the torches. I mean, who else could it be? The killer probably lit them since it'd be impossible to do any cover-up work in the dark. However, if that's true, there's one thing that still bothers me. Why did the killer go to the effort of moving the body? That's true. It's hard to see how that would be of any advantage to the killer. The only one who would gain anything from that would be the only person that was at the inner temple, Maya. Very well. Let me hear some more of the condition of the crime scene. And all snow had been cleaned up. So you're saying the killer cleaned up the snow? It did look really odd. The snow was removed in an unnatural looking rectangular shape around the lantern. There was a lot of shovels around the inner temple. But they're all really heavy. Way too heavy for me to use. An odd fellow indeed, this killer. Why on earth would anyone want to take snow away? Well, there's one thing I can think of. Didn't you say that a lot of the victim's blood sprayed onto the snow? Yeah. The area I collapsed in ended up being splattered. In other words, the killer's purpose was to hide the bloody snow. I think that's the most reasonable explanation. Perhaps. However, there's something that's bothering me. If the killer just wanted to hide the snow with blood on it, there was no need to remove that amount. That's true.
They couldn't tell where it was.
He could have just scooped up just the snow that was stained with blood. It looks like there was some mysteries behind this issue. But I think this will help explain them. Since the person did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man. So, you're saying that you never saw the killer, right? Yeah. But earlier, you very clearly stated that you saw a man behind your attacker. Nick, I'm sorry. The killer certainly went through a lot of trouble. Moving the body by pendulum, manipulating the crime scene? But for what purpose? Why do all that? Maybe Maya knows more than she's letting on. When I came to, it was just lying there in the train. Okay, so that's everything. The place had totally changed. We got a lot more info now. Let's see what we can get from here. Naturally, must have done it. Think so. But why would they tamper with the crime scene? There must have been something that the killer wanted to hide. The truth is, when I saw the crime scene, I felt something. You did? Yes. I felt like the killer was hiding the evidence for me, for my sake. Well, what? Hiding it for you? Everyone knew that I was the only one at the inner temple that night. If Sister Bikini had come back and looked at the garden, she may have thought that you had done it. No, she definitely would have thought so. And you're saying that that's why the killer cleaned up the crime scene to make it look like nothing had happened? Yes, I'm sure of it.
But what about the Maya on the stone?
Because it's red, Jay. It's red. Well, that's certainly an important piece of information. I want you to add that to your testimony. Yes, Your Honor. I think it was for my sake that the killer cleaned up the evidence of what had happened.
Stone lantern it.
Stone lantern it?
Because, that still has blood on it.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Alright. Stone lantern it.
If he cleaned up all the snow, why didn't he clean the stone lantern?
Objection. The body of Lee Stukes was carried all the way to Hazakura Temple's courtyard. Then at the garden, the real scene of the crime. The snow that we suspected was covered in blood and scooped up and removed. It's reasonable to believe all this was done in an attempt to hide the true crime scene. However, there's still one matter that seems somewhat odd. Oh, and what would that be? You must have figured it out by now, Mr. Godot. It's the message written on blood in the lantern.
What?
It was written very clearly on the white stone lantern. Maya. The killer was so motivated to protect Maya from suspicion. Then why didn't they wipe the writing off the lantern? Yeah, you're right. Order. But Mr. Wright, isn't it a fact that the killer is trying to cover up the crime scene? Indeed, but it doesn't make much sense to move the body and remove the bloody snow and then not wipe off the most incriminating thing of all, the bloody writing. But if that's the case, do you have an explanation for the killer's mysterious behavior? Why would this killer move the body and remove all that snow, but then leave the bloody writing on the lantern? I don't know what the killer's plan was, but it's a fact the killer left the writing on the lantern. There must be a reason for it. Well then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your opinion. Why did the killer leave the message written in blood on the lantern? The killer didn't see it.
Didn't even notice
it. Prosecutor Godot, early in this trial, you gave me some good advice. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. Maybe you're not as dumb as I thought. The real killer wanted to disguise the fact that a crime had occurred here. If that's the case, they would have left the bloody writing on the stone lantern on purpose. Therefore, it must mean that they didn't notice it. But that doesn't make any sense. If the torches were all lit and everything, there's no way any normal person would miss something as glaring as that. You're right. There is no way any normal person would. What? What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright? There's only one person involved in this incident. Who could have missed seeing the bloody writing altogether? And who would that be? Who is the person that could have noticed the bloody writing? Ka-ching. Finally, the whole not seeing red, it's finally coming together.
Just throwing around.
Mr. Godot, this is what you said yesterday. My eyesight's pretty messed up. Even with this huge goggles in my head, I still can't see everything. You can't see everything? Is that correct, Mr. Godot? This lantern was submitted as evidence today. I would like the court to think back to the moment it was first presented. This lantern, there's something written on it. Why, it's written in blood. Nonsense. This lantern, it's as clean as a whistle. Mr. Godot, just admit it. There are certain colors you can't see, correct? You can't see red on a white background, can you? That's right. We went through this once before. During the poisoning case at Tribulations. That's the apron. Oh, a red on white background. Curious. Something still bothering me, Skidoo. Why have you not explained the bloodstain? Bloodstain? What? How do you not see this blood on it? Ridiculous. No one told me anything about bloodstain. You could see the coffee on the white apron, but you couldn't see the ketchup because it was red.
Red.
Huh. It's strange. In a black and white photo, those letters would appear black to me. I wonder, why am I the only one who can't see them? So then, Mr. Godot, are you admitting it?
No, he's still like, all right.
Are you admitting that you can't see the red writing on the lantern?
Gaslight him.
Hey, Gramps, didn't you know? That's the reason why I don't drink red tea.
But he couldn't see it? Huh?
I wasn't sure about it until now, but I just can't believe it. Prosecutor Godot is the murderer. But there's no going back now. I finally figured out the truth. Mr. Godot, the defense at this time formally accuses you. You are the murderer of Miss Elise Dusenum, also known as Miss Misty Faye. It's hard to believe this may be true. However, once again, Mr. Wright has brought up a disquieting fact about you. Huh. Just make sure you don't fill out the indictment on red ink, Scrimps. Come on. How does a little graffiti make me into the killer? Besides, it's not like it's my name that's written there. I'm certain that the killer wasn't able to see the color red. This is rich. Do go on, Wright. The answer is right there at the crime scene. In the snow. The snow? How so? Well, for example, why did the killer move all that snow? Your Honor, you say it yourself. If he wanted to hide the bloody snow, why not take out just that area? Yes, why didn't he take out just that area? Could it be? Yes, the killer couldn't see the red blood that has seeped into the snow. And so he had to remove all the snow. He couldn't be sure of where the blood had landed, so he removed the whole area. Is it more likely that the killer couldn't see the blood because it was dark? Not a chance. The torches were all lit. He would have been able to see just fine. It seems that once again, this trial is taking an unexpected turn, to say the least. Can you explain this, Mr. Godot? How did... What? Wait just a minute. Maya. What is it, witness? Well, Mr. Godot isn't the killer. After all, he didn't even come to the Iron Temple until 2 days after the murder took place. He didn't show up until after that old bridge got fixed up.
Objection.
Maya, you can't testify to something like that. Why? What do you mean? I'm not looking back. Yeah. After the murder happened, you didn't even exist. She didn't? I'm afraid I don't follow. Are you senile, old man? We established this just a little while ago. After the murder, this witness was unconscious for a long time. Because she was channeling Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh, that's right. But please, Your Honor, let me add to my testimony. Nick, please listen to me. Oh, Maya. Do you plan to cover up for Godot no matter what the cost? That's the case. Then I've got no choice. Your Honor, let's hear her testimony. If it means we're gonna hear the whole truth, I say we should not silence her. Nicely done, Trite. Very well, let's hear the witness's testimony. Please tell us what happened at the Air Temple after the murder. Yes, sir. After I woke up, I began channeling, and my spirit left me, as it were. But little Pearlie was there at the inner temple, too. Pearlie was also stuck on the inner temple side that night. The next morning, she looked around, but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the Air Temple for the first time. He found Pearlie first and cheered her right up. Who is this Pearlie? That's my little cousin, Pearlie. Look at her. So when did you hear about this? Oh, just a little while ago, when I was in the medical office. I'm terribly sorry. But what you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony. What? Come on. Pearlie would never tell a lie. She's a way more honest person than I'll ever be. Real smart, Maya. You always know the best thing to say when you're under oath. The prosecution has no objection. We believe the witness. Well, Mr. Godot? Let's just move on to the cross-examination, if the defense has no objections. This is highly unusual, but, well, Mr. Wright? Let's get this cross-examination started. Alright, a presumably fake story. Pearlie's also stuck on that inner temple some of that night. So where did you think Pearl slept that night? In the spare prep room, next to the training hall, I guess. There's a rule that you can't enter the training hall during Alkali's training. But even so, why did she go to the Air Temple in the first place? It seems that Pearls became very worried about Maya. She knew that the spiritual training I was about to undergo was very intense. Pearls was supposed to channel Dahlia Hawthorne, but she couldn't do it. That's why she headed to the Air Temple. However, Dahlia Hawthorne was already there, possessing the body of Elise Dukes Nim. The next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone. She searched the entire Air Temple side, end to end. Well, you see, Pearlie gets pretty scared when she's alone, and there weren't that many places to look. She says that she even went back and forth several times. The Air Temple side has two structures, the training hall and a spare prep room. And there's also a shortage sack, I think. That's about it. There was a shortage sack too? Pearls was looking for other people, right? Would she have really examined a storage shack all that carefully? Well, if it was me, that would be the first place I would investigate. So that means it's possible that someone may have been hiding in that storage shack. Next day, when the bridge finally fixed, she was in a spare prep room. Pearls didn't hear the sound of them working on the bridge? What do you mean? I was just wondering why she would stay in the prep room. If it were me, I'd at least go out and wait at the foot of the bridge. Oh, well, Pearlie said that she was sleeping at the time. She said that she was so scared during the night. that she couldn't sleep well and woke up a bunch of times. Poor little girl, all alone like that. Oh, don't worry, she wasn't alone. Whoops. Well, we know that she had at least one friend in the sacred cavern. Dahlia Hawthorne, who was busy battling with the trick lock. She couldn't let anyone see her, so she wouldn't have shown herself to Pearls. What happened after the bridge was finally fixed? That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the Iron Temple for the first time. So it was your first time on the Iron Temple side, Mr. Godot? That's funny. Am I imagining things, or did the defense ask me a question? Mr. Wright, please save your questions for the witness. What you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony. Those are your words, Your Honor. Touché, Mr. Wright. Oh well. What do you have to say, Mr. Godot? Hot nights and even hotter coffee. That's what I always say. If it hadn't been for this case, I never would have visited there. A freezing cold temple in the mountains? Think I'll pass. So you had never visited House Girl Temple or the Iron Temple, huh? Huh. You want to say something, Trite? In any case, I had to find a crack in Godot's armor. Well, I crossed their mile, that is. Very well, please go on with your testimony. After fixing the bridge, the policeman came over to the Iron Temple side, right? Yes, then Mr. Godot found Pearlie first and cheered her right up.
Always friends.
He cheered her up? That's what Pearlie said. She said he was a very nice older gentleman. Thank you for looking after my cousin, Mr. Godot. And here I was thinking you were nothing more than a coffee addict. Huh. Cut it out. You're making me blush.
Haha, guys, come on.
This guy's really beginning to get on my nerves in more ways than one. The truth is there aren't many that much places to look on the Inner Temple side. The policemen were all busy going over the garden with fine-tooth combs. So I decided to carry out an investigation my own way. Godot style. I'm the same way. I like to hand out verdicts in my own way. Judge style. Maybe I should ask some questions. It's Phoenix style. Oh, which one should we ask? I'm curious about Pearls because I remember the first time we met Pearl, she basically ran away from us the whole time. So I was like, she really warmed up to him that fast? It's a little sus.
Has to be with Godot's investigation.
Should we start with this investigation? That's also a really good thing to bring up too. Godot's investigation.
Unless this is the only one of those things where I only ask one.
Which one do you think we should go for?
I'm thinking the investigation.
Okay, let's try that. You said that you conducted an investigation of your own. Did you find anything? It looks like my investigation went about as well as yours, right? After all, I did miss the bloody writing on the lantern. Well, I didn't miss it, so speak for yourself, Goggles. The only odd thing I discovered is the beauty in the training hall. Beauty? Misty Faye, naturally. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western taste. Western taste? Could you find a stranger way to describe gravy? So from there, you headed for the prep room? Wait a sec. What did Godot say just now? I think I just found his proverbial weak spot. So one thing of any importance here. Where was Godot when the murder was taking place? Must have already been at the Iron Temple when it happened. Otherwise, he couldn't have killed Elise Duke's Nim. Okay. Next morning, she found around, couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when he arrived at the temple for the first time. He found Furley first and cheered her right up. Oh god, I don't know where to attack. That's when he arrived at the first time. I think this is where we attack. But what the hell do we attack?
You already presented the gravy?
This was like this was like a long time ago. I mean, it can always come back, yeah. I'm gonna
Dave.
I'm gonna redo that last statement to see if we can get the pearls comment. Yeah, let's ask. So you cheer pearls up? When I found that little girl, the first thing she asked for about was a cousin, Maya Fey. Really? The bridge had burned down and she was huddled up in that tiny shack with no heat. Even though she must have had a truly terrifying night out there. She asked about you before she said a thing about herself. But Pearly, I noticed that you weren't anywhere in the Iron Temple side. But I couldn't find it in me to tell her that. So I gave her my last cup. That's how you know he really cared.
I have one of my
With milk and sugar
1800 coffee.
to hide the bitterness of the harsh truth. Well, what a sweet story, Sniffle. Yeah, thermos of coffee? Why doesn't that surprise me? There's only one thing of any importance here. Where was Godot when the murder was taking place? Must have already been at the Iron Temple. Okay, we need to... Let's read the investigation part again. I think there was something he said that was interesting. Let's see. He missed the bloody writing. The only odd thing is the beauty in the training hall. It's very naturally. Clyde and her stunning Japanese cars, not really hero, no rest of his taste. Oh yeah, I think you are right.
The gravy.
He said that he saw the poster before it was covered with gravy.
But it's covered in gravy.
Yeah.
Well, band.
Mr. Godot. The first time you crossed Dusky Bridge and went to the Iron Temple was long before the murder took place. What? What do you say that? Because he just made one fatal slip-up. The hanging scroll in the training hall? Hanging scroll? But Mr. Godot's right. That scroll shows a picture of my mother. Maya, I know you know who it is. But here's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge had been repaired, 2 days after the murder, the hanging scroll in the training hall looked like this. What's that wonderfully delicious smell? The morning after the crime, someone covered it with gravy. Gravy? But why gravy, Nick? Because gravy was much more than a condiment to the culprit. Well, Mr. Godot, if you really hadn't seen the hanging scroll until after the murder, you wouldn't have had any way of knowing that it was Misty Fey. Well, wait a minute, Nick. Yeah. Take another look at the hanging scroll. Look, at the top. There's a crest there. Ah, that's the mark of the master, correct? Exactly. So if you know the meaning of the mark, then you could guess it was a picture of Mr. Faye on there. True, but Mr. Godot described what was underneath like this. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western taste. Oh. Yes, it's possible that he knew what the crest meant. However, he couldn't have known that she was wearing Japanese clothing. Mr. Godot, on the day of the murder, you were hiding at the Inner Temple long before the crime took place. Can I ask you just one little thing, Wright? What is it? This whole theory of yours. It all rests on a certain assumption. That I knew beforehand that a crime was going to be committed. That's right. Otherwise, there's no reason for him to sneak onto the crime scene. Of course Mr. Godot knew about that plan. Huh? What did you say? Is it really possible that another person knew of that plan? Yeah, the letter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Take that. This crime was actually planned over a year ago. Morgan Fay authorized the plan for her daughter's future. And these instructions were hidden somewhere in Fay Manor for a year. However, by the time Little Pearls found these instructions, they had already been unsealed. Unsealed? Yes, the killer had read these instructions long before Pearls ever found them. That's how he knew the crime was to take place at the Inner Temple. And you still insist this crafty killer is me. You bet I do. But you just said that the instructions were hidden. That's right. Mr. Godot could have known where the instructions were hidden. If he really wanted to know, he had one great chance to find out. Yeah, and when was that? During a visit. A visit? Morgan Fay told her daughter, Pearl, about where the instructions were hidden. During one of her visits to the detention center. That would be the only time for someone to have learned where they were hidden. Eavesdropping on a visit at the detention center? Yes, it could be arranged if you were someone with easy access in and out of there. Like, for example, a prosecutor such as Mr. Godot. Order! Oh, Mr. Godot, you're under fire again. This murder cannot have been carried out without prior knowledge. And you were the only one that could have acquired this information before the murder. Humans are afraid of the dark. And yet, at the same time, we're fascinated and bewitched by it. Maybe that's why humans drink the darkness that is coffee. Sorry for always asking, but what does that mean? It means that there's a reason for everything. According to your theory, the killer in this case eavesdropped on a conversation during the jail visit where he learned of a hidden plan for a crime. After discovering the plans, he hid in the Inner Temple and waited for the crime to occur. But then he ultimately took a person's life. And he did all that just to protect this witness? That's right. If you're accusing me of this crime, I have to ask you, why would I do this? This girl is nothing but a stranger to me. I've got no reason to go through this kind of trouble to protect her. I am what you see. I am certainly not the type to rescue the damsel in distress. The killer's behavior is certainly extreme, for lack of a better word. Even considering that the killer wanted to protect his witness's life. His behavior is still a little too unnatural. However, you had a good reason, didn't you, Mr. Godot? An unshakable reason that forced you to protect this witness at all costs. I knew it. You figured it out, haven't you, Nick? Maya. Guess you were doing your best to cover for Godot. For the same reason, huh? Okay, Tribes, I'm all ears. Let's hear it. It's very simple. Maya Fey is a lot more than just a stranger to you. What's this? There's one person who lies at the very center of this whole story. One person that ties you and Maya Fey together inextricably. It's a little crazy that both Dahlia and Godot, they're both doing it for Mia.
Yep.
There's a very good reason why Maya Fey's life is so precious to you. After all, she is Mia Fey's only sister. Mia Fey. You once worked alongside her. That was when you were a defense attorney. Well, wait a second here. Mr. Godot is a defense attorney? With your honor's piercing of intellect, you must have figured it out by now. The real name of this man who calls himself Godot. His real name is Diego Armando. Isn't that right? The last time someone's called me by that name was over 6 years ago. Diego Armando, that name rings a bell. It should, Your Honor. All this is related to a single case. A case in which a convict named Terry Falls killed himself. Mia Fey's first time in court, the tragic outcome left a deep wound in her heart. She knew that behind it all was a heartless, scheming demoness in disguise. But in the end, Mia couldn't tear off that disguise. However, there was one man who reached out to help her. Diego Armando, a senior defense attorney at the office where Mia worked. Can't cry yet. Only time a lawyer can cry when it's all over. I was moved by her. The way she put all her faith in her clients, that pure sweetheart of hers. That's why I can never forgive Dahlia Hawthorne. Me and I thoroughly investigated that fake kidnapping incident. Then one fateful day, Dahlia wanted to meet with me. It had been 6 months since the trial. We met in the courthouse cafeteria. No, I just remembered. 6 years ago, right here in this courthouse, you were poisoned. Even I didn't see it coming. Dahlia Hawthorne slipped some poison into my coffee.
What?
Some newspaper at the time called it a murder. But very little information about the case was released to the press. But you weren't there at all. No official reports ever actually called it a murder. I was just in a deep, deep coma. I see. My body shut down, and my life became nothing but a long, deep sleep. That woman's poison did a real number on my central nervous system. I lost my sight, and all my hair turned white due to the damage it caused. That's terrible. Apparently, it was a miracle that I ever regained consciousness. 5 years have passed since I drank that poison brew. Then one morning, my eyes flew open from the smell of a doctor's cup of coffee. For 5 years? You were asleep for 5 years? And the worst possible news was waiting for me. Mia Fey was dead. From the very moment I opened my eyes, I had already lost everything I thought I had. The woman I loved had been murdered, and the woman I loathed had been sentenced to death. The woman you loathed? The woman who had spiked my scalding hot coffee, Dahlia Hawthorne. Huh. Good old Mia. She didn't let me down. She got revenge before she checked out. In the end, there wasn't anyone waiting for me when I woke up. That's so sad. For someone like me, for someone who has slept away their best days, there were only 2 reasons left to live. And it was for those 2 reasons that I decided to become a prosecutor. If I may ask, what were your 2 reasons to live? The first was you, Wright. Huh? Mama, me? If I hadn't drank that stupid poison, Mia Fey would have died, much less the way she did. You were the only one who was there to protect her. But you let her die. It was all your fault. It wasn't like that. I wanted to see for myself what kind of man you really were. So that's why you became a prosecutor? My other reason for living, she goes by the name of Mia Fey. Huh? You mean me? You're the only one I can make up for the sin of not saving Mia. 1 year ago, when the Crane Village incident was resolved, it was obvious that Morgan Fey was planning something. Whatever the evil plan was, I was determined to stop it. My role as a prosecutor put me in the perfect position to do something about her. That's how you overheard Pearl's visit with Morgan at the detention center. I knew that the time was drawing near. Since I knew the plan, I thought I could foil it. My goal was to outwit the plan. I thought if I could do that, I could keep that girl from being caught up in it. That makes sense. If Pearls had known that the actual purpose of the plan was to kill Maya, she never would have helped out. Finally, the day of the plan was drawing near. I contacted both of my accomplices. Accomplices? Iris of Hazakura Temple and Misty Fey. I especially need the help of Iris. She was to take the fall in my backup plan in case we couldn't control Pearl Fey. But, how did you contact my mother? She had been missing for almost 20 years. Officially, yes. What? What do you mean, officially? You've heard about it, haven't you? About the strong ties between the main family and the government. Now that you mention it, Bikini did say something to that effect. She said that the Master of Korean had great authority. Even without her official position, Misty Fey still wielded great influence. The police have been keeping an eye on her movements all this time. That's how I was able to contact her. Again, because of my position as a prosecutor. So my mother was cooperating with you? Don't ever forget, No matter how far away from you she was, she never stopped thinking about you. So she was always? That's why I knew she would do anything to protect you. If you want to know how strong her resolve to protect you was, look at her staff. Her staff? The one with the sword in it. The day the plan was to be carried out arrived soon enough. We met for the first time at Hazakura Temple. That's when your mother showed me her special staff. I realized it then, just how far she was willing to go. She was ready to use that sword to protect you from Morgan Fay if necessary. Yes, even if it meant paying the ultimate price. My mother? That night, the night of the crime, there was just one way to stop Morgan's evil plan. You mean pearls, don't you? We had to make sure she didn't channel Dahlia Hawthorne. Well, Pearl, what are you going to do tonight? Well, if you like, you can come to my room. Perhaps we can read some books together. Without can prevent her from playing her part in Morgan's plan. But she never showed up. She was worried and followed me to the inner temple. That was the thing we were most afraid of. And that's why Misty Faye had to do the channeling herself. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne into her own body. What? What do you mean? If she channeled the spirit first, then Pearls wouldn't be able to do it herself. As Master of Karain, Misty's Faye's power is supreme. So that's how it went down. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne so that Pearl Faye wouldn't be able to. What? What? Is this true? My role in the plan was to make sure no one was going to hurt Maya Faye. That's why I hid myself at the inner temple. Just in case you needed to be safe from Dahlia Hawthorne. Godot. Anyways, that's all I'm going to admit to. Trite. Huh? There's no doubt about it. You're a great defense attorney. But you're going to have to do the rest yourself. The background leading up to this incident has been laid bare. There's just one question remaining, Mr. Wright. Who killed the victim? There are only two possible suspects right now. Maya Faye, and I'm sad to say, you, Mr. Godot. Well, Tribulations, if you're the real deal, then finish this thing once and for all. Show us beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can finish this on your own. And no, Nick. Please don't. Maya. I heard the whole thing. From my sister. In the medical office. That's why I have to protect Mr. Godot. I can't do it. I can't testify against them. After all, he's the man who put his life on his line to protect Mia. And me, too. Maya, I know that. Nick. But even so, it doesn't absolve him of his crime. Please, Maya, testify. Miss Fate, your testimony, please. This is the final testimony. Ooh, the final. Don't bother trying to hide anything because I'll know. I want to hear the truth from your own lips.
The final.
I understand. I'm sure you're right. I'm ready now, Nick. Alright, young lady. Tell us about the moments before you lost consciousness. What exactly happened at the time of the murder? Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights. 3 of them. I thought I'd ask for help, but just then I was splattered with blood. She wasn't dead though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her. Suddenly, the red lights went out, and the whole area was dark. Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream. Right after that, Dahlia collapsed and I lost consciousness. These red lights. I thought you said you don't remember seeing them. I'm sorry. I thought I saw them, but then they disappeared all of a sudden. Things break, right? Even the best of theories. Who was it that stabbed Misty Faye? Looks like you still can't prove it. Maya's telling the truth this time, I know it. The rest is up to me. Well then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your final cross-examination of the witness.
Bum, bum, bum.
Alright, let's see. Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights. 3 of them. Lights shining in the dark? I don't think you can make a mistake about that. Yeah, you're right. I think I saw them, but I can't say for certain. And I can't tell you for sure they were from Mr. Godot's mask either. I don't get the feeling she's coming from anymore, but... 3 lights in the distance. If it's not his visor, what could it be? I guess we can press R, right?
Yes.
But just after that, you turned towards the lights and called for help? Isn't that because you thought the lights were coming from Miss Godot's mask? Yeah, I guess so. Maybe that's what I was thinking of at the time. But I can't remember, after all. There was a person I couldn't identify in front of me. Maya's life was in terrible danger at the time. There's no way she can remember the details of this scene perfectly. Alright then, let's go on with the testimony. What did you do when you saw the red lights? I asked for help, but then I was splattered with blood. That blood? Was it Dahlia Hawthorne's blood? I think so, probably. Just at that moment. I heard a soft scream that seemed to be close by. It was a woman's voice. So that was when the killer stabbed the victim from behind with the murder weapon. Is that right? Without a doubt, Maya was in the middle of a really dangerous situation. Anyways, the victim was stabbed by the murder weapon. What happened after that? She wasn't dead though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her.
The dagger?
Just struck back. How do you know that? Well, you're right. I didn't see exactly, but I could tell by the sounds of their breathing and movement. And also the smell of blood. Yeah, witness more horror than a young lady should have to in one life. So then, what did you do at that point? I couldn't move. I could just barely make out their shadows move in the dark, but I had no idea what to do. Could you still see the red lights you mentioned earlier? Yeah, I think so. But suddenly the red lights went out and the whole area was dark.
Godot was stabbed, so he looked down.
They went out? Yeah, suddenly I couldn't see them at all. What could it mean? If the red lights were coming from Godot's mask, and they went out right in the middle of a fight, maybe the mask was damaged. Or maybe it was knocked off. Or maybe the batteries ran out, right? Or maybe those little red pinhead looking lights just stopped working. What could have really happened then? Just that moment, there was a horrible scream. What do you mean by just at that moment? Do you mean the moment when the red lights went out? Yeah, that's right. The scream that you heard then, was it Dahlia Hawthorne? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was a man's voice. What? So then that scream came from the killer? That's gotta be it. I think Dahlia Hawthorne must have taken the blade and attacked the killer with it. And then the killer let out a scream of pain, huh? After that, the killer stole the blade back and delivered the final blow, I guess. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems to make sense to me. It sounds like a reasonable deduction, but I still kind of wonder. Sounds kind of, yeah, this timeline is a little weird. I'm starting to say
yeah, stabbed with the same weapon? No.
It's hard to say this, but that interpretation would create an enormous contradiction. That makes sense. After all, my deductions are almost certainly never correct.
Good judge.
Remember the testimony she just gave? Before the killer let out a scream, Maya said she had already been splattered by the victim's blood. In other words, the blade and the staff had already been plunged into the victim. What? Is that right? She could have been struck back with a sword that was already in her body. The weapon that caused the killer to let out a scream must have been something other than the staff. If you're so sure about that, then don't keep us waiting longer, Trite. There's only one thing I can think of that could have been used as the weapon here. If Dahlia Hawthorne had already been stabbed in the back by the staff, what could she have used to strike back at the killer? This ball!
Hit you with that ball.
Right? Yeah.
No.
Does it come... No?
Dagger. Or,
Okay, wait.
Wait. It doesn't match the victims.
The blood doesn't match the victim. So in this case, the victim would have been Dahlia.
Dahlia, yeah.
So
and she had a knife.
So Dahlia stabbed
Dahlia was gonna kill Maya.
Dahlia was gonna kill Maya, and then somebody stabbed her from behind.
With the cane sword.
No, not the cane sword, because the blood doesn't match. The blood isn't hers.
Yeah. Cane sword was clearly through her. This is what she used.
No, I don't think... I don't... Oh, these are two separate things. I see.
Yeah.
I see. Alright, so it's the dagger, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Naturally, the dagger that the killer brought to the scene of the crime. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. This dagger was found at the crime scene, stuck into a pine tree. Yes, the detective found it this morning and brought it to me. Dahlia Hawthorne shot back at the killer with this. And she managed to wound him as well. Just because he let out a scream doesn't mean that he was wounded. For all we know, the blood on the dagger could have been from the victim. Have you forgotten that the blood has already been tested? Since we learned it wasn't the victim's blood, it must be the killer's blood. The killer must have a wound somewhere on his body. So you're saying the blood on this dagger belongs to the killer? Exactly. A DNA analysis, the blood will prove it beyond shadow of a doubt. And yes, Mr. Godot, it will prove that it's your blood. Nice theory, Trite. Order in the court. Is this the end? Have I done it? Even he won't be able to change the results of a scientific test. Let me ask you something, Trite. Let's just say that it turned out I was the killer. Do you really think I would be stupid enough to leave evidence like that?
Yes.
What? Just think for a sec. This dagger was found this morning by a detective and brought to me. There was already blood on it, correct? But even so, I was the one who brought this dagger here to the courtroom. Yeah. What does that prove? Well, if I really were the killer, I could have washed the blade off and then planted another person's blood on it. It can't be. In any case, there's one thing I can guarantee, right? That blood, it doesn't belong to me. Oh shit. Not a chance. What? In any event, it seems to be established that the killer was wounded. Alright then, witness, continue testimony. Oh, wait a minute. What's the problem? I know I probably shouldn't say this, but there's a big contradiction in Nick's explanation. What? Me?
Me?
Maya? This dagger? You said that he wounded the killer. That's right. But if Mr. Godot had really been cut with a dagger, his clothes should be bloody or have a rip in them, right? Yeah, I mean, we all know Godot never
right
changes. Now. We know Godot never changes his clothes, like ever.
Ever.
Maya? Maybe just change his clothes. That solves the contradiction pretty easily. What are you talking about? It's not that simple at all. Remember back to the day of the murder. Everyone that was on the inner temple side got trapped there. Oh shit, she's actually making some sense. Oh, that's right. And once the bridge was fixed and the police headed for inner temple, Mr. Godot was already there, waiting for them. Oh, she's saying he didn't have blood on his clothes. Then he never had a chance to change his clothes. Oh shit, her dumb statement is actually a smart statement. Oh no. Order in the court. Well, maybe he brought a change of clothes with him.
Yeah.
But
Take that. No, it's the
no one could have predicted the lightning strike that shut down the bridge.
But with his infrared goggles.
Why would anyone have brought a change of clothes? Did the judge take smart pills during the last recess? Well then, maybe the killer took off his clothes before he committed the murder. That way he wouldn't get any blood on him. Okay, Phoenix, this is a little crazy even for our gameplay style. That's impossible, Troy. You know how cold it gets up there late at night. Also, why would I take off my clothes to do that? After a few minutes with no clothes on, you'll be frozen solid. What? Huh. So that's all you got. I knew you weren't tough enough to finish this. Right now, if Mia Fey was here, she would have closed the book on this case already. If Mia Fey were here, So come on, Tribulations. Can you do it or not? How about it, Mr. Wright? You've accused Mr. Godot of being the killer. But can you prove it? Have you even got one piece of evidence? The question isn't whether I can prove it or not. The fact is, I have to prove it. It's the only choice I have. I was taught that it's one of the rules of being a lawyer. Oh, I like that moment, because Edgewood did it first. Like, referencing Phoenix, now Phoenix is referencing Mia. I can prove it.
What's around?
I'm gonna bring you your magnificent vengeance to fruition, just as you want it. Oh, they're hyping it up. Huh. Oh, this is the OG song from the first game.
Oh.
Dude, I love this song. Huh. That's good. I'll fight it to the very bitter end, right? Since it's just one piece of evidence that can prove your point. All or nothing. Oh, God damn it. Oh, we go for the ultimate penalty. You trying to pressure me, Mr. Godot? I'm gonna say right now. Because it doesn't matter to me. I've got the one piece of evidence I need. Give me a break. You got none, Troy. So what do I do at a time like this? It's simple. I've got to think outside the box and approach this from a different angle. Alright then, Mr. Wright. Let's see what you got. There's only one thing I've demonstrated in the previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded. This was proven by the blood on the dagger. But we decided it was impossible for him to have hidden such a wound. If he had been cut by a dagger, there should have been bloodstain on his clothing.
Unless he got stabbed in the face.
There's one place. One place the killer could have hidden his wound. What did you say? Huh, hidden? It probably, what is his face? Yes. This is it, my last stand. I need to think about this from a different angle. I don't need to think about why there are no bloodstains on his clothing. I need to show how he hid the wound. It's the end of the line. The file stopped, right? Let's see what you got.
Yeah, he doesn't care if an eye goes out.
Where's his location? You say the killer hid his wound. Oh shit, from evidence?
Profile name.
What, you think it's just his profile? I don't think... Is it really the profile? It seems kind of weird.
From a different angle.
Damn, I don't know, Jay.
You saved.
I did say, but I like beating on the first try. Where's the location?
He's gonna do a cool remove goggles and have a flashed out eye.
Yeah, but how do we get to the goggles? I do think it is the goggles too.
His
but
profile, his face.
You think it is?
Him.
I mean, fuck it, I got nothing, right?
Ooh.
Huh. I know what you're talking about. Our points. But I do know that you never have to lawyer. Ain't that right, right? Oh. Oh shit. Did you see that?
Yeah.
What was that just now? Mia? It can't be. You're living on through him? Even as we speak, You're still hiding the wound. It's beneath your mask. Oh, the remix too? Damn. During the fight, the red lights given up by the killer suddenly disappeared. Seconds later, the killer left out a scream. That's right. Your mask went flying off your face. Mr. Godot, would you mind removing your mask? If you have a dagger wound under there somewhere, then I say this whole case is solved. Oh my god, it blew up!
Got him in the face.
Just now, I saw her spirit in you. I never liked you. 6 years ago, you helped the woman who put me to sleep by hiding her bottle of poison. And then, while I was sleeping, you let Mia die. But you didn't care. You just kept living your pathetic, happy-go-lucky life. You even had the nerve to follow in her footsteps as a lawyer. I could never forgive you. That's what I thought. Mr. Godot. But I was wrong about you. I knew from the very beginning. The truth is, the only person I can ever find it in my heart to forgive was me. You, yourself? I was the one that failed to protect Mia. Me and no one else. I tried to avert my eyes from the truth, to escape from the harshness of reality. I just couldn't face Mia's death head on, so I ran. I hid behind a mask, threw away my true name. Couldn't even deal with being a defense attorney anymore, so I quit. But, you saved Maya. Yeah, that was my plan. Up until just now, anyways. What do you mean? Are you listening, Maya? If I really wanted to save you, then there's one person that I should have gone and talked to right away. What? Who would that be? You talking about Nick? But I didn't do it. I tried to get the help of Iris and your mother. But I closed my eyes to the most important man involved. Do you know why? The real reason? No, why? I suppose I wasn't really interested in saving you at all. Huh? I think I was trying to salvage what's left of my own broken soul. I was trying to make up for the fact that I couldn't save Mia, nothing more. That's why I let you walk right into a situation that I knew was dangerous. Forgive me. You're wrong. You put your life on the line to save Maya. Was it really for Maya's sake? Even I'm not really sure. What do you mean by that? That night, in the darkness of the garden, when I saw her silhouette. A part of me must have known the truth. The truth that it wasn't really Dahlia Hawthorne standing there in front of me. It could have been Misty Faye, or even that little girl. But I still picked up the blade. It was like I was dreaming.
Nothing personal.
I'm not sure
Actually,
exactly.
all personal.
All personal. I'm not sure exactly what was going on in my mind at that point. Was I really motivated by the pure desire to protect Maya Fey? Or was it something else? Was it my hatred for a woman who had stolen everything from me 6 years earlier? Could it have been simply a desire for revenge? And now, I don't know anything anymore. I did learn something today, however. I finally realized that I was the arrogant one. I was just chasing an illusion, a fantasy. The stupid fantasy in defeating you in the courtroom. You were the one who made me realize my folly. You never ran away from Mia's death. Instead, you picked up where she left off, as a true defender of the people. In that one moment, I understood everything. Mr. Godot. I think you already know this, but if you don't, my name is Diego Armando. Mr. Armando, I believe in you. I know you were trying to save me. Thanks. Your wound, it's bleeding. Huh. Did you forget already? In my world, the color red doesn't exist.
These are only tears.
These must be my tears. Tears? Ever since I woke up from my coma. I think I've been waiting for this very moment. But Mr. Armando. You do well to remember this, Maya. The only time my Lord can cry is when it's all over. This time, it really is all over, isn't it? Defendant. Yes, Your Honor. Although you weren't directly involved in the murder, tampering with the body in the crime scene is a serious offense in itself. I understand, Your Honor. Mr. Armando explained that to me very carefully. I knew the risk and I willingly cooperated anyways. Very well. Before I hand out my verdict, is there anything you'd like to say? Well, there is one thing. I'd like to say something to Mr. Wright. I want to apologize to you. Apologize to me? For what?
I was gonna kill you too.
For the case 5 years ago, of course. I just remembered. Weren't you poisoned by your own lover? Not exactly, but yeah, something like that. Even now, 5 years later, I can hardly believe it. She was gonna do it. She was planning to kill me. It's not all that surprising. The two of you hardly knew each other. Huh, what do you mean? You and my sister. You only met twice. Huh? What? We only met twice? The first time we met was on that fateful day. The day she poisoned Mr. Armando in the cafeteria of this very courthouse. The next time you met her was 8 months later. You met her again on the day that she stole your cold medicine. And Doug Swallow was killed. No way. It can't be true. I mean, during the whole relationship, we were... For those 8 months, the woman that you thought was Dolly Hawthorne wasn't actually my sister. Huh? It wasn't Dahlia? I hope one day you can forgive me, Feeny. Oh, damn. You mean...
And twins.
That's right. I lied to you for 8 months. But why? Why would you do such a thing? Ever since she gave you the ball that day. My sister's trying to get back as soon as she possibly could. Because of the police investigation and their surveillance. She couldn't move about freely. So that's why you, my sister, from the beginning, she was prepared for the worst. Prepared for the worst? She thought that you might somehow discover the truth. That's why she was always ready to deal with you at a moment's notice. You mean she was ready to kill me, don't you? She already has so much to answer for, so I didn't want any more sins on her soul. I begged her not to do it, and she agreed to give me a chance. And that's why you came to me. You came to get the bottle pendant back from me in her place. But I couldn't get you to give it back. I failed at something even as simple as that. 8 months passed and I still couldn't get back from you. Finally, my sister couldn't wait any longer. She didn't consult me about her plans for you that day. It was the first time that ever happened. That was a bit strange, wasn't it? Up until that day, you two were partners in crime, and she would confer with you. I think she must have noticed. Noticed what? My feelings for you. If I had found out she was planning to kill you, I would have done whatever was necessary to stop her. Even if it meant her life. Or mine. Iris. After spending those 8 months with you by your side, my feelings towards you, they changed. I have something to say to you too. Yeah?
Get out of here.
You really are the person I always thought you were. Even after Dolly Hawthorne was found guilty, I still believed in you. Thank you. How many cups of darkness have I drank over the years? Even I don't know. Ooh, they changed his name.
Armando.
I'll tell you though. Right now, this one here is the greatest cup I think I've ever had. Don't you think so? Phoenix Wright. Oh, he called us Phoenix Wright. And we're drinking coffee. Look at that, the coffee drinking animation. We'll never see it again.
Never ever again.
Yeah, I think you're right. The purpose of this trial was to rule on the murder of the victim, Elise Dukes Nim. At some point, I expect you to be tried for your role as an accomplice in this case. I understand, Your Honor. Very well. On the charge of murder, I hereby find the defendant... court is now adjourned. Where was our confetti? What? It's the last case of the game.
Unless it's gonna be now.
Court's now adjourned.
Right now.
No, scammed. Might as well just go kill ourselves too now. We didn't even get the reward that we were seeking. I'm gonna go jump off that bridge now. So I guess it's all over. The way everything ended. Was justice really served? The man who risked his life to save Miles being sent to prison by my own hand. Of course justice was served. Mamma mia. I'm proud of you, Phoenix. Your defense was truly brilliant. But I couldn't save Mr. Armando. The man who cared so deeply for you. You're wrong, Phoenix.
You won.
You did save Diego. You saved him in the only way possible. You mean, with that verdict? I think one day you'll understand too. Phoenix, I want you to remember one thing. You were as good out there today as any defense attorney could ever hope to be. There's nothing more you can learn from me. Mamma mia. You've accomplished something I wasn't able to. I owe you a great deal. Thank you. Mia. I'm sure we'll meet again. Someday, Phoenix. I've handled lots of cases and seen a lot of things. And along this journey, I found myself asking just one question. What does it really mean to defend someone? I suppose today's case produced one possible answer. Nick. Mamaya. I guess it's just like my sis said. Mia? What did she say? That night, when I channeled Mia to get her advice on what to do, this is what she wrote back in my notebook. Don't worry, Phoenix will save everyone in the end. But, come on, call it out with that gloomy loser face. Can't you see, me, sis, and I'm sure Iris too, we owe you for everything you've done for us, Nick. Maya. How can you be so bright and chipper after all that's happened? You were brutally attacked. You even saw your mother murdered. Yeah. From Francisca. Still as softy as always, Phoenix, right? Excellent work, right? Huh? Mr. Edgeworth? When did you get back? Oh, yeah, that's right. You don't know. I guess no one filled in on that. Ezra and Francisca has actually been helping me. Helping you? If these two hadn't been here on the first day of the trial, the defense wouldn't have had gone anywhere. Wow. But where were you, Nick? I heard he fell into a river and caught a nasty cold, which forced him to sleep all day. How lazy. Yeah, he lay in bed, shivering from his fever with Iris's hood pulled over his head. Oh, ouch. Talk about embarrassing, Nick. You definitely need more training. Anyways, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. And you too. Francisca? I thought for sure she was gonna butcher her name.
Francisca.
I don't suppose. Thanks, Larry. There's room for me in this group hug, is there?
Get out of here.
Look at playing the sad music, Shane. Oh, Larry. What's with the longer than usual face? I realized something when I was reborn. I realized that Larry was never of any use to anyone, not even once. But that's not true, right, Nick? What? You're asking me? Well, Nick, is it true? I got a place in this world, right? Huh? Oh, yeah, of course. I knew it. Everyone would be better off if I was gone for good. No. Oh yeah. Those portraits you painted, they were really good.
AI can do that.
Isn't that right, Edgeworth? What? About me? Why are you making that face, huh, Edgy? Oh, well, yeah, indeed. I certainly can't say that they lack resemblance. Do you really mean it? What about you, Franzi? Did I draw you well, too? Ah, my beauty can't possibly be captured by a mere crayon. Glare. Nevertheless, I recognize the effort you put into it, and that's worth something. So then you'll do it, like you promised? You're gonna model for my next picture book, Francie? Ah, don't get carried away. Well, how about that? I guess painting portraits is the only thing I'm good at. This painting of Pearl is pretty darn good too, if you ask me. Huh? Now that you mention it, I haven't seen her around. Pearls? Could she have gone? Normally she would have made a beeline for Maya. Oh, I'll go look for her. Be right back. Hey, Pearly. Right? Seemed to be uncharacteristically puzzled. I suspect you're wondering how Maya can be so cheerful despite all that has happened.
She repressed it. Simple as.
Yep. Yeah. To be honest, I can't understand it either. Franziska. That's right. She lost her father fairly recently as well. I think I understand how she feels. Maya's a much wiser person than she appears. And I think she realized something. Now is exactly the time when she needs to be as strong as she can. What do you mean by now is exactly the time? Maya wasn't the only one that was badly wounded by this incident. In fact, there was someone that was hurt far more deeply than she. I believe for that person that Maya is trying to do her best not to cry. Someone who was hurt more deeply than Maya. I think I'm starting to understand too. Ow! And tell me, Phoenix Wright, who is Maya Fey being strong for?
Me.
Me? Oh, we're not even here, shit. We're not even an option.
Oh.
We don't matter in this world.
Gumshoe.
Gumshoe. Pearl Fey.
He's not gonna have any wage after this one for sure.
Yeah, for sure. The poor kid, after all, the reason that she worked so hard to follow the instructions was because she loved and believed in her mother, Morgan. It's for the good of the Fey clan. I'm sure she believed in every last word. She thought she was doing it for Maya. That's why she was so happy. Shows how truly devoted she is to Maya. But it's a cruel irony that it was her exuberance that led to this tragedy. Maya Fey's mother was killed and Maya herself was put into the deepest peril imaginable. And that's exactly why Maya is putting on a brave face. She's doing it for Pearl's sake, until she can see her smile again. Oh hey guys, so this is where you all are. Oh, is this a group hug? I want in too. Wow, looks like we got quite the bunch today. Ah! Well, what was that for, sir? Sorry about that, Scruffy. My whip just seems to have a mind of its own. What's up, Detective Gumshoe? Oh, you know, this and that. Anyways, congrats on your win. Let's go out tonight, pal. Dinner's on me. My salary just sort of kind of gone down by a teeny wee bit, but it's alright. I made a reservation at a first-class restaurant tonight with my salary. I don't need to eat for the next 2 months.
Nope, this was your pay.
Yeah. Pretty good with Scruffy. That whip was your reward. Detective Gumshoe? You said a first-class French restaurant. You don't mean Tribulations. Where else?
Oh, no.
The beautiful Tribulations. I knew it. We're doomed. Come on, let's go, everybody. Can't keep Maggie waiting, pal. Hey, you, crybaby. You're invited too. Oh, forget about me. Pro and I will be at the loser shack eating potatoes. You know, Maya's taking an awfully long time to get back.
Dead.
She's still out looking for pearls. Oh, Maya, what's wrong? Nick, what do I do? Pearly, I can't find her anywhere.
Part 4.
Part 4. I bet she just went back home. That's all. I thought so too, so I called the village. But no one's heard from her. This has never happened before. As I figured, she has been badly hurt by this incident. She feels responsible for the tragedy that has befallen you, Maya. But none of this was her fault. What should I do? Tete Gumshoe. Yeah, what is it, pal? Could you guys go on ahead? But what about you? Maya and I will. We'll join you guys once we find pearls. Nick. Don't worry about us, Tete Gumshoe. We may be a little late, but we'll definitely be there. We have a lot of celebrating to do tonight, and I wouldn't miss it for the world. Yeah, but you're the... What? Very well, Phoenix Wright. We'll go on ahead. Don't keep us waiting, right? We won't. But where should we look? Where could Pearly have gone? Let's go, Maya. There's only one place I can think of that pearls might have gone to. Can you figure out the place, Shane?
Back to the temple?
Hazakura Temple. For pearls, I bet this is a very important place. After all, it's where this whole incident started. Oh, looks like Shane's not done voice acting yet.
What's this? You're all back again so soon.
Sister Bikini?
I thought we'd be eating mashed potatoes alone tonight.
So, she's here? Pearly's here?
She's in the training hall. Why don't you hurry along and go see her?
Okay. Pearly's not here. Ah! Maya! The hanging scroll! Ah! Someone cleaned it off. It's gotta be pearls. Wah! Mr. Maya! Pearly! Why? Why did you just leave like that? Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya! I swore that I would never trouble the two of you ever again. Because it's all my fault that Mystic Maya's mother. That's why I came here. It's the least I could do, to pray for your happiness. You don't have to do that, Pearly. It wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Of course, I'm sad that my mother is gone. But, how do I say this? I'm still happy. You don't have to lie just to make me feel better. No, really. It's true. The only reason I'm still here at all is thanks to everyone who was there for me. My sis, my mother, Mr. Armando, Nick, and you. If even one of you weren't there, I'm sure I wouldn't still be alive right now. Except for Larry. I think I would have been alright if he wasn't there for me. That's why...
Not even me.
That's why I have to be strong. For all the people that weren't there for me when I needed them. That's all I can really do. My Mystic Maya.
You truly are the daughter of Mystic Misty.
Sister Bikini.
Your mother, Mystic Misty, was a strong woman indeed. I want to tell you that what she said to me that night.
After dishonoring the good name of Karain, I don't have the right to face my daughter. But still, Ma's already in my thoughts. It's true. She'll always be with me until the day I die.
Your spirit was with her. That's why your mother was so strong. Even at the end, I'm sure she has no regrets.
She'll always be with me until the day I die, huh? There's a rule of something all masters are to follow, isn't there? To never take the charm off until the day you die. That's the master's talisman. The thing that Misty kept by her heart and would never take off. It wasn't the container that was important. Rather, it was the contents. A photo? Ah. Mother. It's only natural for living creatures to fight, to protect their own lives. But what makes us human is that we fight for others. But who do you fight for? How hard must you fight? That's the true measure of what human life is worth. We defense attorneys are warriors who are constantly challenged by that question.
They did the same thing.
They did the same thing. Even when the battle is over and the bonds that connected us are severed, we always return time and time again. Mia, Maya, Pearls, Mr. Armando, and Maya's mother, too. I learned that from all of them. Well, shall we get going? Everyone is waiting. Ah, this is a day to remember. A day when a lot of things are finally put to rest. I think we should celebrate what we've overcome today. But, I still can't.
Go on, sweetie. You can come back for training anytime.
Okay. Alright, I'm gonna make a brand new start, too. Sister Bikini, I'll be back for more training, I promise.
I know, and I won't grow easy just because you're the future master. I'll make sure to prepare reservations for 3 when you come back.
Alright, we're gonna have a great feast today, Pearly. You know why? Because training is a battle of endurance. Okay, Mr. Kamara, I'll eat lots and lots of food tonight. You know, there's one thing I don't get, and probably don't want to, but... What is it, Nick? Reservation for training is fine and all. But why for 3? Come on, what do you think? You're one of us, Nick. Next time you can train right alongside us. Huh?
I'll be waiting for you. Mr. Bikini will take special care of you.
Huh? It'll be great, Nick. We're gonna do the special course, naturally. Huh? That's a great idea. After all, Mr. Nick. You'd do anything for Mystic Maya, wouldn't you? Even walk on hot coals, right? We'll have a nice big meal before we come next time, right, Nick? You know, I was wondering if I can say just one little thing What's it gonna say, Shane?
I quit.
That's right. Sure, of course you can. Oh, I love this part. I can't wait to hear it.
I'm getting goose pimples too.
Well then, here goes nothing. That's it, Shane. That's the end of the first trilogy.
Remember the first trilogy, now it's Apollo.
We have to work extra hard now. Master Crane, the official, and the office manager of Wright. And now to be a good big sister, Pearly Nick, too. Well, as long as I'm not locked up or captured or something like that. Which happens only once every 3 days. So it's true, Miss Nick really is Mystic Miles Knight in shining armor. He went through with a special course all the way to the end. They went crazy. Actually, I heard there's a legendary extra special ultra course here too. I think I surprised the two of them by making them secret reservation. Maggie brought me a brand new coat as a present. Wow, yeah, a new coat. You're 10 years younger. I'll never take it off. Yeah, but somehow you just don't seem the same. I guess a dirty, shabby old overcoat is more detective-like, sir. Don't worry about it. In the name of love, a man will soil himself silly. He changes it back for the next trilogy, though, I saw.
They break up.
Mr. Wright, and once again in your debt. Thanks to the treasures of Crazy was a great success. Even got to see Miss Von Karma, who I haven't seen for almost a year. Taught me how to use the whip and say that I must show you what I've learned. Can you believe the Apollo trilogy is only like a month away now?
Oh.
We're so close. Desi and I started a company called Master to Mass Consulting. Dedicated to stopping the evil plans of all the criminals in the city. Our motto is cut it out, please. Pretty cute, huh? Is that a good motto, Shay?
Cut it out, please. Yeah.
Sometimes I think we're the worst criminals. Oh, wait, they sell plans to criminals to do crimes. I want to show you my appreciation to Mr. Wright for exterminating Don Tigre. Oh, it's $500,000 NFT set. Remember the Evil Phoenix chapter? That was a fun chapter.
Yeah.
He's drinking it now. Win through compromise. I'm just old and in the way. A wrinkly, grumpy clown, no waste of fish. At least, that's what I thought. But my grandson had a birthday party for me the other day. Talk about embarrassing, 69 years old, and cry like a baby with a dirty diaper. Usually we have abundance of work to do. Hired a new programmer to replace Glenn L. to help everyone will get along. His name is Adam Mata. As soon as I heard his name, I knew our brain circuits will align perfectly. More reporters.
Since we've had another, I think it seems like the ship group is a nice visual, especially in spring. I can hardly wait for Iris to come back.
You're just such a respectable man, Feeny. It was so sweet of you to everyone else come and visit me here the other day. Of course, I was happy that you constantly had your eyes on me, but I felt kind of bad when the other one slapped you so hard you got a nosebleed. When the little one.
Pearl, she has to keep her ship going.
She does have to keep ship going. Well, Shane, what did you think of the trilogy now that we finally completed it?
It's good. Oh yeah, I was like, why do these guys have voice actors? And then, yeah, just for that.
Objection.
He will.
Alright, Shane. Rank all the prosecutors. Rank it by terms of who you like the most.
Well, I like Godot and Francisca and this guy. And
like
Edgeworth.
Winston Payne? Who's your favorite
Godot
prosecutor?
purely for the theme.
Who's your favorite prosecutor?
Edgeworth.
What's this? I'm back from a long time vacation. No one said greet me? I guess I was gone. My little whippersnapper buddy. Quiet now, I got no one. What kind of lonely, crazy security room is this supposed to be anyways? What's with all the flashing lights and switches? I feel like some sort of space alien. There's our only appearance in this game, Shane. In the credits. Ra-da-da-da-da. I finally found something I love to do. Francis' whip tour is gonna turn the art world on sad. I should have realized it sooner. Self-centered, lazy, antisocial. I'm an artiste. A real good portrait artiste. I'm not a loser after all.
Oh, it's your favorite prosecutor.
Probably Edgeworth overall. Edgeworth overall. But in terms of one-offs, definitely Von Karma, OG Von Karma. That case was so good.
Oh, yeah.
But overall, it's okay, Edgeworth. But definitely for the one-off, it was Von Karma. That's it. We did it.
It's over.
Oh, excited for Apollo trilogy. Perfect timing, you know.
Wahoo.
And that's the end of the trilogy. We finally got here, Shay. It took us a long time. We started playing this at the beginning of the year, in case you don't remember.
Visual novels are long.
Yeah. Now, the year 2024 is going to be the Apollo trilogy. We'll do this all over again. But that's the series. Thanks for watching, all you Kevins out there.
Yep, bye, Kevin.
Bye-bye.